Hello, my friends. Now that you have your shapes turned into forms for your theme all completed and you've checked with me, it is now time to think about what is your theme going to be and what are you going to use to skewer your forms. So I'm going to use a simple tube, kind of like a piece of spaghetti. You can make water, you could make lightning bolts, you could do straws, you could do whatever, you can shoelaces, you kind of decide what is going to skewer through your work of art. So I'm going to show you a couple ways to skewer and a couple of different tricks and tips for skewering. So one of the first things I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to start with like a little piece of spaghetti. So I'm going to start kind of with an oval at the bottom. So this is the end of my spaghetti. And then I am going to create the spaghetti. It's going to go in through here. I'm going to have it come out from inside this shape. So it's going to look like it's going into the shape out here. I might have it go to the back of this one, come out here, come down into here, come down from the bottom, maybe go back in, go through up here. And so we're just going to kind of play with this. So the first thing that you want to do when you're drawing is kind of have an idea of how you want to start. The next thing is you want to make sure that you are consistent. So we talk about parallel lines here, and we talk about how these have to look like they're equal distant apart. So we want this to look like it's equal distant apart. What we don't want to do, and do you see how this looks like this is the same distance all the way through? We don't want to have something let's just use a piece of Post-it note here. We don't want to have something where you're drawing here and then it kind of looks like it's doing something like that. It's not going to look as nice. So we are going to make this look like this goes in, we are going to use a contour line. So this line is curving in this direction, therefore I'm going to have a curve here. Because this is solid, we're not going to see this particular line there. So I'm going to use my eraser and I'm going to erase that line. So now this looks like this is piercing this particular shape. Now to make it look like it's coming out on this side, I'm going to do another curve. This curve is going to go in the opposite direction. And again, you want to think about thickness. So this width might be, if I did this, it might look too thick. So I might have to make that skinnier. I also suggest drawing lightly. Draw very lightly, because where did I say I was going to go up here? Okay. Draw very lightly, because if you make a mistake and you want to erase, it's a little bit easier to not see your lines. So again, you want to try and stay consistent. Now, is it going to be absolutely perfect? Probably not, but just do the best that you can to try and keep your lines consistent all the way through so that you look like you have parallel lines. So this is going to come up and go to the back. I need to erase this line here because this tube is on top of this, right there. And now that this is, you can see that this is piercing. Now, one thing I am noticing here, and you might be noticing it too, does this line look like it would actually match up with this? So I might need to adjust this a little bit because in looking at this, it doesn't really look like it's going to match up. So if I were to continue this line, yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe this needs to come over more. So maybe the line needs to be more here to make it have a little bit more of a natural feel to it. So if you'll notice, I just kind of continued my line. I just kind of continued drawing. And now if I do this, and I just switch that just a tiny bit, you can see that, to me anyway, it looks like it better matches continuation of the flow. So I might want to take this and kind of think about how is this going to flow. Drawing very lightly, how is it going to flow and come down? And so then if I have it going to the back and I want it coming out the front, maybe I do a curve here. This is going to continue coming down. This is going to continue coming down, again, consistent for thickness. I will make a curve there, erase here, But do you see how I kind of drew the line so I can kind of keep that in check? So now if I come down, I can kind of think about how this would look visually. And I might have it come in here. I'm kind of playing around with this. Videos always take a little bit longer when you're actually trying to show and draw kind of at the same time. Consistency all the way through. Might have to make that line a little bit rounder. So now this would get erased. Here's my line that I'm keeping. So I can make that darker. Here's the line again that I'm keeping. I can make that darker. This can be darker here. This is the line that I'm keeping. This is the line that I'm keeping. So I'm making this a little bit darker. Trying to keep that consistency. Notice it went off the paper a little bit, and that's completely fine. I need to erase in here to make sure that this is looking like it's on top. I need to erase that line there, these lines here, and now you can see that this is weaving. Now this is coming through, so this is on top. I can have it come out this side. I'm going to have it come in. Now one of the things that just made me think about this, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Notice how I have this kind of popping off the paper here a little bit. So I'm going to show you ways that you can make it go off the paper but maybe come back on. So I'm not liking how this consistency, I think want this more, a little bit more consistent. So always kind of draw lightly so that you can make your changes as needed. So this is going to come in. I feel like this might be getting a little too wide here. I'm going to erase that line. I'm going to do a kind of a curve there to show that it's going skewering in. I'm going to keep this. So it's going to look like it's coming out that side. So maybe this stays. This is going to get erased because I just want to be able to see that there's some consistency. So if I had this looking like it's going this way, I probably wouldn't want it coming out this way. But I mean, I suppose I could. Or if I had this coming out this way, it may be hard to have it look like it's looping and coming out that way. So you have to, it has to look like it is going in the right direction. You have to, it looks like it, your little piece, your tube, whatever you're doing has to look feasible in real life. So I'm going to erase this. I forgot to erase that. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to like have this come off the paper, and then I'm going to have it come back and I'm going to have it loop. So it comes off the paper. So visually my eye can kind of see that it does some type of a loop here that might come in, and I have the last bit here that I have to get because I have to skewer all my pieces. And you could skewer more than once. So if I'm coming in here, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it ends right here. So it's coming through here, it's ending here, and maybe I have something popping out right there, which means this is being erased, that's being erased, that's being erased, and that's popping out right here to kind of create that tube. Okay, so I hope that this gives you an idea of the various ways to skewer, things that you can do, and how you can make things go through, making sure you stay consistent, making sure that you can visually, even though the lines aren't there, you can kind of visually see the continuation of the areas that are behind. But have fun. This is I can't wait to see your themes. I can't wait to see what you choose to skewer, and then how you plan on adding your background to make your theme work for you. So enjoy, have fun, and start skewering.